Hello, this is Claus Jensen presenting another game from the Chinese Championships, this time from round 5. And white is Ding Liren, rated 26-60 and tournament favorite. Black again is Shanglei, who took a beating in my video from yesterday called The Exchange Sacrifice number 9. And the poor guy is in for another beating in this game, which started knight f3, knight f6, c4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, and with d takes c4, black accepts the queen's gambit, which often leads to sharp play, and this game being no exception after e4, bishop b4. And Liren here doesn't bother to defend the pawn on e4, he just wants to castle quickly and enjoy the open position that arises. So bishop takes c4 here, knight takes e4, castles, and an exchange on c3, bishop e7, knight e5, castles, and queen g4. And this is a classical setup. White has sacked the pawn for quicker development and or for attacking chances. And as the defending player, you should always be extremely careful to find the right balance between defense and development in cases like this. If you ignore either the defense or the development, you'll have a hard time surviving the game. And this position is no exception. White has some attacking chances for the pawn, and black should thread very carefully here. And I believe two moves comes into consideration for black here. One move is king h8, which is a purely defensive move, preventing white's bishop h6. And since it's not a developing move in any sense, black should probably look for something better. Another possibility is knight c6, and this is a developing move as well as a defensive move because it prepares to take out one of white's attacking pieces, the knight on e5. So knight c6 is the kind of move you should be looking for when your opponent has sacked a pawn for development and attack. But in the game, Shanglei played c5 instead, and I don't think I need to explain now why this move is so bad, do I? It's neither defensive nor developing, is it? So of course this is a bad move. Liren continued bishop h6, bishop f6 to defend on the g7 pawn, bishop d3, rook e8, and now with f4 white builds up his attack, and now a rook lift is in the air, and which will bring another piece into the action for white. And white's black light pieces are still on their initial squares. At first I thought Shanglei had a good defensive resource with the knight d7 here, and then rook f3, knight f8. But then the computer shows me that I'm wrong, because here could follow bishop takes h7, and king takes and bishop takes g7 with mate threads in the h file, and the computer evaluates this as completely winning for white. So knight d7 doesn't seem to work, and in the game Shanglei played g6 instead, and this g6 move looks anything but pretty, but defensively it seems to be justified. At least until Ding Liren played bishop takes g6 here. F takes g6, knight takes g6, and if e5 here, attacking the queen, then f5 is the simplest way for white. So h takes g6 came here, queen takes g6, king h8, and now the black king has been stripped off of all his defenders, but white has invested 2 pieces in the project, and he has to play accurately here. The slightly inaccurate, for example, rook f3 here, then rook g8, queen h5, bishop takes check here, king h1, and queen e8 shows that black has some resources. He's not completely without defensive resources here. But in the game, Liren didn't play rook f3, he played the accurate bishop g5. Then came bishop takes, f takes, rook e7, and queen h6 check, and now of course rook h7 doesn't work because of checkmate here. So king g8, and then g6 came. And this is a bizarre position in a master game. After 20 moves, white has a crushing attack, and 4 of black's pieces haven't moved at all. Knight d7 came here, rook f3, knight f8, rook a to f1, knight takes g6, rook g3, rook g7, and rook takes g6, and here Shanglei had enough. For example, rook takes g6, queen takes, king h8, rook f7 is checkmate very quickly, and also queen e7, rook f3 with the idea rook h3 and then queen h8 check, and the rook could fall on g7 and so on. So it's hopeless for Shanglei, and therefore he resigned the game in this position. And I think it's a good example of you should be very careful when your opponent sacks a pawn for initiative, for development and attack. So always try to find the right balance between defense and development. I hope you enjoyed this game from the Chinese champion Ding Liren, and hopefully our unlucky friend with the black pieces has more luck in the future. And I also hope to see you on my chess website at klausjensen.com. Bye bye for now.